So over the last couple of days, there's been so much conversation. Actually, scratch that. Since he's actually won the Royal Rumble earlier this year, there's been so many conversations about Jey Uso and just how good he is and if he's worth this push that he's been getting over the last year. And I have to say, there is so much disingenuous behavior on both sides of this argument. And me personally, I am somewhat in the middle, but I can understand the level of passion that both sides have for Jey Uso. Because on one hand, when you talk about the positive of pushing Jey Uso, fans cannot deny the fact that the man is over. When he comes out to the ring, everybody is up on their feet doing the yeeting, flashing their lights in the air. And as annoying as it is to see that for the first 10 minutes of a Raw segment, guess what? They're then doing, and they want to see that shit again for another couple of minutes. And then on top of that, the man moves merch. The man does make money for them. And if we know anything about a business, if you make somebody money, they're going to reward you. And I'm not too old to forget that Jey Uso was well liked to the point that numerous fans actually thought he was being wasted about a year or two ago when he was struggling to win the Intercontinental title, struggling to win the World Heavyweight title, and went through numerous losses. People were saying they need to capitalize on Jey Uso's momentum to the point that I remember when he lost Money in the Bank about a year or two ago and Drew McIntyre won, a lot of people were upset and said that WWE needs to pull the trigger because of how over Jey Uso was at that time. And I saw very little, if any, pushback to people that were making that claim, because guess what? He was fucking over. The fact of the matter is that Jey Uso is a case of fans wanting something and not wanting it as soon as they're giving it to him. But on the other hand, I do understand the frustrations with fans and Jey Uso's push, because yes, Jey Uso is over. Yes, Jey Uso moves merchandise. Yes, he's popular with the women, the children. But at the end of the day, this is called World Wrestling Entertainment. Wrestling being the key word. And Jey Uso in the ring is very, very limited. We cannot deny the fact that he over relies on the super kicks, and his moveset is very limited to the point that when he's wrestling in these consistent singles matches, it feels like you're watching the same exact thing over and over and over. And then as great of a visual as his entrance is when he comes out through the crowd with the fans, but it's very clear that shit be making him tired, and he's so bloated before he ever even touches foot in the ring. And his promos just result in him saying a bunch of nothing and ending off with his little 4 words, 1 letter, yeah, whatever the fuck that bullshit is. I cannot stand yeet. All that shit needs to fucking go. I'm so tired of it. The fact remains that Jey Uso, outside of his entrance, is very, very lacking and is subpar as a singles wrestler. I do think he has had some really good and quality matches, whether it's when he won the Intercontinental title. I thought that was a great moment and a really good match with Braun Breaker. I thought he had some quality matches with Gunther. He had some really good matches with Roman Reigns, and ironically, it's not the match he had with him at SummerSlam in front of a live crowd. It was those Thunderdomes matches. I thought those were actually really good matches with a great story. But it's clear that when he's not going up against an opponent that can really carry him throughout the match, like a Seth Rollins, like a Roman Reigns, a Gunther, a Braun Breaker, he's not able to go out there and really have good matches consistently. It just ain't gonna happen. And the crazy thing about Jey Uso for me personally is the mere fact that Jey Uso, I defended him when he won the Royal Rumble. I thought that was a great story that they could tell with him and Gunther. And honestly, he was extremely over. If you go back to when he won the Royal Rumble, nobody was booing him. They were cheering. And fans disliked that video so much. I think it was one of the most disliked videos on the WWE channel. And it sparked so much debate and conversation. But yet when he went out there on Raw and cried and got teary-eyed about winning the Royal Rumble and finally fulfilling his dream to main event WrestleMania, or at least so we thought, the fans loved it. They cheered for him. And you can find so many videos of little kids online crying seeing Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble. And at the end of the day, that's really what pro wrestling is about, making the fans feel. And Jey Uso was making fans feel, which is why initially I supported the Jey Uso push to make him the world champion at WrestleMania. But then unfortunately, the championship reign started. And with lackluster performance after lackluster performance, him going out there still yeeting after getting his ass beaten by numerous wrestlers, mediocre promos, and just not really good booking overall, it's no surprise he didn't even hold on to that championship to SummerSlam. And now here we are at the end of the year. Granted, he just lost the World Heavyweight Championship match to CM Punk, but it's clear that he is in the tag team shit with Jimmy now. It really just goes to show that even the company understands that there's a clear ceiling on Jey Uso. But even despite them obviously understanding that, they still keep putting him in positions in the main event over guys that actually deserve it. I mean, you look at that Saturday night main event with him and CM Punk for that title, especially now that CM Punk won. Why was AJ Styles not in that spot? We may not even get another CM Punk and AJ Styles moment, much less match, considering that AJ Styles is going to retire next year. So to give that match to Jey Uso is just insane to me. Hell, even LA Knight is a situation where I can look at the way they've handled him over the last year and completely understand why a lot of fans are turning on Jey Uso. You talk about getting yourself over. LA Knight has done that. He's popular with the fans. He's a way better promo than Jey Uso, and he's a much better wrestler in ring than Jey Uso. But yet, for whatever reason, he goes out there every week, loses to Braun Breaker, loses to Seth Rollins, loses to Bronson Reed, and still has to go out there and cut promos about why he's gonna eventually become the World Heavyweight Champion. Buddy, at this point, you're just trolling us, Triple H. You're trolling us and you're trying to bring LA Knight's stock down, but yet it's still not working. Fans are still salivating for the LA Knight push. Hell, let me just calm down. Let me chill out because this ain't an LA Knight video. But you guys get my point here. You can't push Jey Uso for certain things and reasons that I understand, especially considering that it's a business and the man makes the money. But yet when you got other stars that can make you money and are actively doing so, you don't want to even give them half the opportunity. I mean, just give them a chance. Don't just push the same motherfuckers like Jey Uso, especially considering the man can't work. He botched a simple neck breaker from CM Punk the other day, and I couldn't believe it. It was insane. And if I gotta see him go out there and half-ass another spear, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. You've already put him back with Jimmy somewhat. Keep him with Jimmy. The tag team division is actually more beneficial for both of them to be in versus them going off to do their own thing as singles wrestlers and bringing down so many championship matches. I'm begging you guys, cut the Jey Uso push as a singles wrestler. It's reached its peak at WrestleMania and it's over, and that's okay.